When Rachael Kanini, 31 years, received a strange phone call on Monday from her loving boyfriend Olujobi Jibenga, little did she know it would see her abducted and later brutally murdered. Kanini lived with Jibenga, a Nigerian man, in a house at Ridgeways along Kiambu Road, and on the fateful day, he called her informing her that he had been involved in a car crash near Muthaiga area in Nairobi. Before she reached Muthaiga to establish what had transpired, she received another call from Jibenga informing her he had been arrested by people claiming to be the police. In the said call, her Nigerian lover also told her that the alleged cops were taking him to an identified police station and that he needed her to accompany him to record a statement. However, the bodies of Kanini, alias Kanis, and her Nigerian boyfriend were on Monday discovered in Ruai after the two were kidnapped by yet-to-be-known persons and brutally murdered. Her close friends believe that the killers used her boyfriend to unknowingly lure her to a location that is still unknown. They later pounced on her and placed her in Jibenga's car and drove off to Ruai. The bodies of the couple, who are said to have been planning to get married, were found a week after they vanished without a trace after missing persons report was filed on 26 June 2023. The disappearance was reported at the Kasarani police station in Nairobi, which saw police spring into action in an effort to trace their whereabouts. The last phone calls she is said to have made to her close friends painted the picture of a woman in distress who asked them to pray for his husband, who seemed to be in trouble. Little did she know that they were both in trouble. On arriving at the scene, Kanini is believed to have been bundled into Jibenga's car, while her own vehicle that she drove to the scene was dumped at Dhome Estate near Thika Road. The two were later kidnapped on Sunday, June 25th, 2023, and later killed elsewhere before their bodies were taken to the area where they were found burnt in Kamulu area in Nairobi County. This was just when their families hoped to be reunited with them. Their lifeless bodies had been burnt beyond recognition. The assailants had chopped the duo's bodies into pieces and had stuffed them in bags before setting their car ablaze near Kanini's parents' home in Kamulu. The motive behind the abduction and the killings remain unclear, but speculation from members of the public about rangers from a targeted attack on their personal lives to business to jealousy. Rachael and Omodollar lived a lavish life, drove expensive cars, and oftenly would be seen in clubs, popping champagne and taking expensive liquor. The two were vibrant individuals who lived life to the fullest and enjoyed each other's company. They were inseparable and loved each other until their tragic death. Kanini had just turned 31 and Jibenga, alias Omodollar, was 41 years old. The two had dated for close to 10 years. Both bodies were naked at the time of the discovery, and their legs and hands were tied with shoelaces, according to police officers and witnesses. According to police, the body of the Nigerian had visible injuries on the head, stomach, and thighs, while the body of Kanini, the female body, had visible injuries on the chest and stomach. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, prompting an outpouring of grief and condolences from friends and fans online. The kidnappers and killers who perpetrated the heinous act remain at large, and it is believed that they had employed a very sophisticated and well-coordinated operation which ensured that they left no traces behind. Investigations into the brutal killings of the two put 3 girlfriends of the deceased into the spotlight. The 3 had been identified by the police after call data revealed that they were in constant communication with the deceased until the day of the abduction and subsequent killings. Detectives at the Kasarani Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, were tasked to investigate their gruesome murder. Of the 3 friends who last spoke to the deceased, police established that 2 of them lived in the same neighborhood as the murdered couple. Curiously, the young women all have a similar make of cars, Honda station wagon, with almost similar registration number plates. The 3rd friend, who lives in Roy, also has a similar car make and color as the 2 other friends. Another link that the Kasarani investigators have noted is that the women live a flashy life are also in a relationship with Nigerian men. Their occupations are, however, not known, hence bringing several questions about their alleged flashy lifestyles. A post-mortem examination of the body of the deceased revealed that the 2 lovers were tortured while still alive. Pathologists came to the conclusion after traces of carbon were found in their lungs. The post-mortem was, however, inconclusive, and pathologists recommended further toxicological examination on samples from the 2. The post-mortem examination was conducted at the city mortuary by Chief Government Pathologist Dr. Omodollar. A friend of Jibenga was present to witness the post-mortem, while Kanini's father and a cousin were present during the examination. Omodollar, after hours in the examination room, observed that only after further toxicological tests that the cause of death would be established. A preliminary report on the cause of death states that both Kanini and Jibenga died of burn wounds. Kanini had suffered 90% burns on her body and also suffered stab wounds on her chest. Jibenga, on the other hand, had suffered 88% burns on his body, and he also suffered visible injury marks on his feet and neck. According to the post-mortem examination documents, Jibenga had been tied with nylon paper and shoelaces around his neck and feet, giving indications to the police officers that he could have been tortured before his tragic death. At the Kasarani DCI, investigations boss Jimmy Kimaru and his team worked round the clock to unravel the mysterious murder. Photographs of the scene where the two were found show that the lovebirds, even in their final moments, held on to each other as tongues of flames of fire consumed them to death. They had last been seen alive at 11 p.m. after the discovery of their lifeless bodies, since there were no identification documents on them. The bodies were taken to the city mortuary and booked them as unknown. According to the residents of Kamulu, the scene at first appeared like a case of lynching by a mob. However, none of the neighbors had any commotion that night. DCI investigators followed crucial leads that would unmask the killers of the duo. First, a theory that Kanini, who was preparing to wed Jibenga, was 3 months pregnant, while it remains unclear who was responsible for the pregnancy. The police probed that the unborn baby could have been the reason for the murder of the two. Another theory is that the twin murders could have been as a result of a love triangle. A check on the social media platforms of Kanini reveals the bubbly nature of Kanini. From her photos, she lived a good life, with frequent visits to high-end hotels and high-end places. She posted good times with her husband, Omodollar. For now, what remains is the beautiful photos of the lovers in their happy days, even as the police dig for clues on the murder of the two. Their killers and the perpetrators remain at large. No arrests have been done and nobody has been prosecuted over their deaths. Rachael Kanini was laid to rest in Tala, Machakos County, in their home. Police, however, have launched investigations into the brutal murders of Rachael Kanini and Jibenga alias Omodollar, hoping to gather leads that will bring the culprits to book. The deaths of the two are a testimony of how precious life is and the urgent need for safer communities. I have been your host, Lily's Rams. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video. We hope that Jibenga and Rachael Kanini do not become another statistic and that their justice will be served promptly. We hope that the perpetrators of this heinous act will be brought to book. May the souls of Kanini and Omodollar rest in perfect peace. Comment down below with the story you would like me to cover.